Hello and welcome to the second Warhammer Wednesday video. One day I will go back to releasing one video a week, I promise. This is my review of the Genestealer Cult's Neophyte Hybrid Squad. They come in a box like this. They cost you £25. Some people have instantly sort of latched on to the fact that you get a heavy weapon support team in there. Now please bear in mind that a squad of 10 Cadians normally costs you £18. A box of 3 heavy weapons will cost you £24. If my maths is correct, that's £8 per one. So £8 plus the 18 that you'd normally pay would be 26. So in a way you're saving £1, plus you're also getting all the upgrade sprue for all the heads, which you get, I think 12 or 13 heads, and you get the little cult weapons and the insignia that you can put on vehicles, things like that. But I still think it's a good set because this is now the second way to get a full squad of Cadians with a heavy weapons team. The first being the Start Collecting set, but that's £50. It comes with this, well, minus the Genestealer stuff, a Commissar I think, and Lehman Russ. So this is pretty cool if you're into Cadians, although the models have aged. I think when I did the unboxing of this, it said 2003, or it might have been 2005, so either way, these models are over a decade old. But if you've got a guard army, then it might be still a good deal, or if you just want to put some more conscripts in your army, then there you go. But for Genestealer Cults, obviously, Games Workshop, they had this sprue, and they were only going to make one sprue, like the Death Watch one, and what they've done is they've just applied that logic with old models. Anyway, back to these. What I'm getting at is they're using these really old models, and they're chucking in this Genestealer sprue in there, so that you can upgrade them and just sort of tweak them a little bit. At the end of the day, this is £25, and for the same £25, you can get that box of brand new Neophytes, of which I'll be talking about in my video next week. So we've already established they're a great little way to bump up your Imperial Guard army, and they're a nice way of getting a heavy weapons team in there. Let's have a look at this heavy weapons team. So I've put their las guns on the floor. I've given them backpacks. I don't know why. I just felt that they needed backpacks, but you could easily leave them off. I put the little Tyrannid symbol, the Genestealer Cult symbol there. I filed off the Imperial Guard symbol. I don't know why, but they've run out of sand on this world because there are only 2 sandbags, and I've stuck a knife in there. So this is your normal heavy weapons team. It's a very old model, and the only difference you can see is obviously the little symbol and their heads. I've given them Genestealer heads. This guy has got shades because we know how bright las cannons are when they fire, don't we? Especially from explosions of tanks too. So, but it just goes to show you how advanced sort of Space Marines are in a way. I mean, yes, there are different versions of las cannons, and of course there are, man portable, but the las cannon itself, it's on a tripod there. Like I say, how advanced Space Marines are, that they have their man portable versions of las cannons, and they're just running around with them and then, blowing up tanks and things, whereas these guys are in a defensible position with a las cannon on a tripod. They won't be able to pick that up and fire that. I don't even know if they'd be able to dismantle it and take it with them, but there you go. We're moving on to sort of trying to explain the physics of these sort of made up, the made up universe. I do that a lot with Doctor Who as well. Right, let's have a look at the models themselves. So they're the basic Cadian models that you all love or hate. They're really old. This is the little sergeant dude. I really want to say alpha, but with Genestealers, he's just called the leader. So it's just a Neophyte leader. He has 2 attacks instead of the 1, and his leadership is a little bit better. You can equip him with a web pistol, things like that, but I've just given him a bog standard las gun and a chainsword. And I've given him these cool goggles. So, and also this is the part of the upgrade sprue, the sort of cult knife and things. Then we go to special weapons. You're allowed 2 special weapons in a squad. You can either take 2 heavy weapons from the heavy weapons list, you know, like the mining laser, things like that, that you see in the other version of these that are the new models, or you can just have 2 in the squad be a heavy weapons team. You'll add one of those. So it's either 2 heavy weapons guys or 2 that have made a heavy weapons team. It's up to you. I prefer 2 heavy weapons guys rather than a team, just because they're obviously carrying around, like, you know, they can carry around the mining laser, 2 of them, which is pretty much almost like a las cannon anyway. So, and that sort of fits better with them, having 2 that are carrying the heavy weapons around, because, you know, with their special rule where they can just, you know, come out of the shadows, fire and cause some damage, just feels a little bit better having it that way. But these are great as just, you know, or in a defensible position. With the heavy weapons team, just doesn't suit the aesthetics of the army, in my opinion. But there we go. So special weapons, you're allowed 2. I've only gone for 1, and this is the flamer. I couldn't get him to face down, so he's sort of putting his flamer up. But again, he's got a Genestealer head. And then I've just gone for this comms guy. It serves actually no purpose whatsoever. I just think that's cool that he's got his, you know, headphones on and some goggles or something. But it serves no purpose. This sort of comms guy, just for aesthetics really. And then you've got all the guys with the las guns. Some of them are running. I've tried to use the Genestealer Cult little upgrade sprue where I can. I've used it on all the models, I think. But some of the guys have las guns with bayonets, and some just have the normal las guns. I think this is the only guy that's actually pointing his gun and firing it. The rest are either running to the enemy or running away from the enemy. But there you go. It's not like Space Marines where the majority of them are actually firing at enemies as they're walking towards them or whatever they're doing. What more can be said about them really? They've got the upgrade sprue and they've got the different heads, but apart from that, they're all exactly the same as the Cadian soldiers. An old kit really needs updating. I'd say a lot of Imperial Guard need updating. The tanks are pretty cool, but the actual little units themselves, you know, and there needs to be more variety too. Different factions, different armies for different worlds. But that's up to Games Workshop, isn't it, guys? Before I go, I'm just going to show you all the spare parts. What spare parts you actually get. There are a lot. Now, I did read a comment somewhere. Someone said, "Oh, why don't you use use some of the spare parts from the other Neophyte set?" I've got them here, guys. Obviously, it's in the 40-year-old bag. Why wouldn't it be? And I don't think they're really that compatible. For a start, all the weapons that hold auto guns and things, all their arms have the mining sort of clothing on. Furthermore, the heads, even the 4th generation heads, are quite round at the base. So you probably need to cut them and then cut them down, and then they might work for these models. But remember, these heads are different than just the normal heads that you get in the Neophyte, in the new Neophyte box. And also a lot of the guns have claws on and all the rest of it. I'm not saying it's purely out of the realms of doable, but even sort of like the Power Maul, which is what I wanted to put on the Sergeant, the arm itself just wouldn't work because it doesn't have the shoulder pad. It's a different kind of material. I wanted to use some of the shotguns too, but again, some of them have claws on and their arms are quite thin. In a squad like this, which is mainly sort of militarised or whatever, they're going to stand out like a sore thumb, all these differences in clothing and things. It's up to you though. If you want to go down that route and you want to change that, that's fine. That's up to you. But I just wanted to, inform you that they are going to stick out if you use different heads and different arms and things. They're not 100% compatible, in my opinion. However, obviously you get a load of these spare parts. Now you get all the heads that you would have used for your Cadians, and you actually get a few helmets, which there's nothing stopping you from putting them on bases or, putting them next to your heavy weapons team. Whatever you want to do, it's cool because you get a missile there. You could use that for something. You get a heavy bolter, you get an auto cannon, you get this missile launcher, which looks straight out of the new Dark Angel sort of Space Hulk video game coming out in the next couple of months. I really wanted to use this on one of these, and if I got another Neophyte set, a new squad, I'd definitely try and use this missile launcher, because I see one of those Genestealer hybrids use one of these, and it just looks so cool. So at least I've still got that. And you get a flamer, and then there's grenade launchers and other bits and pieces, chain swords, las guns, you know, a load of these extra sort of canteens and pouches, and you get a few of the little Genestealer symbols like that. You know, you could put that on a Goliath truck or whatnot. So you get a lot of parts there. You know, so even though it is £25 for old models and the heavy weapons team, you're getting a lot of parts that you might find useful on just other models for other armies and things. So I just thought I'd show you those. Back to the review. So overall, it's a nice set, but if you're going to get Neophytes, I'd definitely go for the better box set. I know you're not getting a heavy weapons team, and you're getting 10 models instead of, you know, 12 in a way, or well, it is 11 bases, but you see what I mean. If you got the other set for the same price, you are getting the much newer models, and you're getting all those beautiful shotguns, the Weber guns, the little hand flamers, the mining lasers, seismic cannons, things like that. It's just a much better kit. In my opinion, it might be worth you, if you're Imperial Guard, to get the kit to save £1 and obviously get that heavy weapons team. It's very similar to what they did with the Death Watch. They got old kits and they put in the upgrade sprue. Still, I think it's cool because it gives you a nice variation in your Neophyte squads. You could even mix and match them as well, so you have some mining and some sort of troopers that have gone that way. Let me know what you think of the kit. Put it in the comments below. Thanks for joining me today. Thanks for watching. The Emperor protects.